Adam, did you get a chance to watch the gold medal game this morning?
Yeah, of course.
What are your thoughts on what you saw?
Well, it's heartbreaking. As a Canadian and watching teammates play, going for gold. It's probably more nerve-wracking watching it all than having to play in it. But you certainly feel for those guys. You know how much it means to them, and it has been special watching NHL be back at the Olympics, and I think that's been a big. Should be a huge story. It's been special to watch.
And now I guess the good news is you get your captain back.
Yeah. Again, your heart breaks for him. We know how much it means to him and how much he means to our team. But I think the world got a glimpse, really, and if they haven't already, know how much he means to our group here, and we know you guys know that, and now certainly all of Canada knows that, how much he meant to that team, and certainly the rest of the world being able to see that is pretty special.
What's this week been like, just for you guys here?
It's been a good week. We've had a good hard week of practice, which is nice. Usually, I was part of the last Olympic break, and it can feel long, and my situation, it's been nice to have the extra time because of the injury to get back, and but it gives you a chance to, depending where you're at, I think in the season, standings, all those things, reset and regroup, and then you got to make sure you're right back to work. The drop of the puck coming up here for us, so it's going to be really a sprint to the finish here for us. It's going to go by quick, and we got to be ready for that.
Adam, I don't think anyone was necessarily surprised at the level of hockey that we've seen over the last couple of weeks. What impresses you most, whether it's Team Canada or the game that we saw this morning, about the way that they were playing?
Just the level that those guys can get to. I feel like I've been in the league a long time, and there's different levels of player. You have to be good to play in the NHL. It's the greatest league in the world. And then all those guys that play on those teams, they're the superstars of the league. And even those guys, they're able to raise their game for how good all of those guys are to another level. And most of those guys do it through their entire career. And when those guys are doing it year after year after year, I think that's the most impressive thing. There's ups and downs through everybody's career, but these superstar guys that come back every single year, and now they're putting up 150 points in this league. That's a special talent, and there's a small group of those guys, and to see them all play on one team and to accept different roles and to come together as a team that says a lot. They're putting all their personal stuff aside to play for their country, and I think that's really what is truly special, and I think a lot of young kids watching can learn from that and really take from that if a guy like Connor McDavid is putting aside certain things for the betterment of a team at that level, anybody can do that.
Do you sense that coming out of the Olympic break, is there any of that level of hockey that can trickle into where you guys are headed next week, even the last 24 games of the season?
Yeah, I think just that motivation. Now it's got to be on. It's got to be that playoff mentality. A lot of years it's, the trade deadline is kind of that kind of spot, but we're right there. And with the schedule this year, we're more games in, and because it's been condensed because of the Olympics, and 24 games will go by quick, and the standings are so tight you can't afford to have a 2 or 3 game skid. You can find yourself in a bad position. So, on the other side of it, you can get a good stretch going and put yourself in a good position for that stretch run, and whatever comes after deadlines. So it's an exciting time of year. We're getting down to it.
What has this last little bit been like for you? Of course, being injured, making sure that you can come back, step back in the lineup strong, and what's been kind of your main focus with your heal-out?
Yeah, it's been good. Kind of see the timing of everything kind of saved me a few weeks of missing more time, which has been good, and able to skate before the break and get to a level where we're comfortable and then just trying to maintain that through the break, and then having this whole week has been great too. Getting up to speed, getting back into practice. We're able to work on things and talk about things in our game that we want to improve or change, and work on all those little details all week, and then just making sure we've had a high level of practice all week. We're obviously missing a few guys that'll be back and be big difference makers for us, but it's got to be through the entire lineup that everybody's going and everybody's buying into those roles and giving everything they can, and we just got to make sure that we get off on the right step.